Hello my beautiful friends and welcome to Tailor Made Beauty by Kris. Today I am doing a full face get ready with me with drugstore products. I really believe that I'm using nothing that costs more than $10. So this should be fun and just a chance to chat and catch up. I'm going to start by priming with the e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer. And this is kind of a creamy, thick primer. I wanted something creamy and moisturizing because I'm going to be using a powder foundation today. I've used it a ton, I think last year, and haven't gotten into it at all this year, and couldn't really trot out my L'Oreal Infallible up to 24-hour wear again because I've used that one already, although I do really love that foundation. So yeah, let me finish getting primer on and I'll just rub the rest of that in. And yes, indeed, for foundation today, the NYX Stay Matte Not Flat. And I am using this in shade Natural, 03 Natural. And I will show you that, yes, I hit pan. All right, so from last year, whoops, there goes the puff. From last year, I hit pan. So I feel like the primer is set up, and I have an e.l.f. Complexion Brush. Now I picked this brush because it's got a big head and it's a little fluffy but not super fluffy. There's some density to the bristles, and that's what I want because I do actually want to lay down some product. So I'm going to pick some up, tap it off, and just start buffing it in on my forehead, on my nose. Oh, I can't believe that summer is almost over. I love summer. Definitely my favorite season, and I'm not ready to let it go, which is a good thing because today we are having very warm weather for us for this late in the season. We're supposed to be in the mid to upper 80s, which for Seattle is warm. Okay. And you can see with a powder foundation, you know, I'm not getting a ton of coverage. This is really evening out my skin tone. And recalling back now to last year I was still getting oily in my T-zone, so a powder foundation in the summer was really nice. This year I have normal skin, which means normal to dry in the winter time, and maybe that's why I haven't been reaching for my powder foundation so much. But there, you can see it's just, you know, it evened things up, gave me a little color. I'm not really doing anything to cover up the blemishes that I've got going down on my chin. Kind of doesn't matter how much I put on, but you know what? That's okay. I'm just running errands today. I do not need to totally cover over everything. Moving on, I'm going to do some contouring with the Ulta Matte Bronzer in the shade Cool. And I have a brush from Ulta that I'm going to use for that. Just picking some up and just contouring lightly there along under my cheekbones, and then I just like to work it up in the hairline a little bit, giving some definition, giving my cheekbones a little lift. All right. I hope that you've all had a good summer, and of course I'm assuming that means most of you are in the Northern Hemisphere. For those of you in the Southern Hemisphere, I hope you're looking forward to things getting warmer for you. Okay, and see, just just a little shading, not super severe contour. And this is a brush that I use every day regardless. It is the e.l.f. Kabuki brush. I love this. It works makeup in, blends powders beautifully. And if I remember correctly, it was like $6. Can't argue with that. All right, for blush. I picked this up a while ago off of Amazon. It's Korean. It was so pretty. I was gonna do an Amazon haul, but honestly I couldn't find enough makeup to make it an Amazon haul. But oh my God, I know you saw that, but isn't that so pretty? So I'm going to take this angled blush brush from e.l.f. and I'm picking up all the colors and just doing on the apple of my cheek. Oh, what a pretty soft pink glow that is. Kind of exactly what I was expecting from this. I am playing with blush these days. I've been doing this the last month or so with lighter color on the apple of my cheeks and then a darker blush further back on my cheekbones. And I'm having good success. I'm liking it. And so today, to get that little bit darker color in the back, I have an e.l.f. blush. And this is Brilliant Mauve. Although to me it sure looks orange. And because this looks really dark, I am just going to give the lightest brush across it and go in with a really light hand. Right? I can always pick up more. Remember that when you're doing makeup, you can always pick up more. Sometimes it's very hard to correct less. So again, just a little bit, and doing the backs of my cheeks there. All right. That's good. To my eyes, it's a little much, a little heavier than I was intending to go. So here's that Kabuki brush, and just working in circles and back and forth and round and round. Oh, and see that just, excuse me, works it in and blends it in and tones it down so nicely. There. That's better. All right, moving on. Oh, you know what? Let's do highlighter. And this is the Maybelline Master Chrome in 50 Molten Rose Gold. And this is such a pretty highlighter. It's been a while. It's pretty hard to open. It's been a while since I've used this, and it was so much fun to come across it in my bathroom when I was pulling makeup for this. Holy cow, I can't get it open. Why is this so hard? There we go. And this, you may have seen this e.l.f. brush at your local Target or Walmart and wondered what the heck. I like it because you can just pick up a little bit of highlighter, tap it off, and just give the nicest little wash of highlight. There. Okay. Now, moving on to eyes. For my eyebrows, I have the Rimmel Professional Eyebrow Pencil in black brown. I'm not sure why I have this in such a dark color. It's what I had. Let's see how it goes. And going in my little 7X insert on my mirror, just working little strokes, kind of going against the grain here of my eyebrows and working it in just to fill in and define. Oh yeah, that's it's got a little brush on the end, which is nice to put the finishing touches on it. All right. Ooh, there we go, a little rebel, rebel eyebrow there. And yes, I mean, right? That's why we do our brows. So it might be a little on the dark side, but it's gonna be okay. Whoops, I did not mean to drop off screen. If I did, so sorry about that. And this one is harder for me to do. I don't know why. My contacts, let me get out of the 7X mirror. Because I am 51 and a couple years ago I started getting to the point where my arms weren't long enough to read. Actually, what I got, I didn't call them reading glasses, they were my sewing glasses, because if I had to rip out a seam, it was really hard for me to still differentiate between the thread and the fabric, and so I had to get sewing glasses. And then my ophthalmologist suggested monovision, and so while I am nearsighted, one eye is corrected for distance and the other eye is less corrected, meaning I should be able to see better with it. Okay, that's more than you probably ever wanted to know. I do not have a drugstore eyeshadow primer, which is a bummer. I think what I'm going to do is go back into the NYX powder and pick some up on my finger and just press that in, work that in on my eyelid to give a base for eyeshadow, right? It's amazing how creative and effective you can be with makeup, right? Necessity is the mother of invention, and if there's something you want to use makeup for, do it. This is the I Heart Revolution Rose Gold Chocolate, which to me looks a whole lot like the Huda Beauty New Nudes, but this is way cheaper. And I have a fluffy Morphe M330 brush, and it really looks like there's only one shade here that's good for the crease. So I'm going to grab that. Again, I didn't get a ton in there and I tapped it off because I don't know what this color is going to look like on me. And as we were talking about with cheeks, let's go in with a soft hand. Light, we can always build more. That is nice. I'm going to do that again and just try to darken it a little bit. What's your collection? Do you have an even balance between drugstore and non-drugstore, what we call it, prestige brands, luxury brands? This was a really interesting exercise for me because it was, I find for eyeshadow palettes, I kind of have the gamut. In fact, as I've mentioned before, I have a hard time spending more than $100 on an eyeshadow palette. That's just not in my DNA. And there are so many great palettes with really good color payout that you can get for so much cheaper. Like, you know, this one I think was $7 or $8, and I've used other ones from I Heart Revolution, and the color payout is fantastic. It's wonderful. Okay, there's what we've got now for the crease color, and I'm gonna work the outer 7 a little bit. Just looking at the selection of brushes I brought down. Am I gonna try that one? No, I'm gonna go with, this is a Morphe brush. It's a little bit bigger than I would normally want to do this with, but, okay, no. I'm gonna use this Morphe brush. This is a shader brush. This is the Morphe 124, and I'm gonna pick up this dark color here, and I am just going to press that in where I would, you know, if I had a smaller brush like a MAC 221, I would be working this in little circles out here. But because I don't have that option, because I don't have a drugstore version of that, I am just patting down this eyeshadow out there, and I'm going to grab it even on the end a little bit and just work. There we go. Okay, and I'm achieving that the outer C out here, right, to put down some color out there. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And then what I'm going to do is go in with a blending brush to work it in and smooth it out. And now that I did my right side, I'm a little more confident and working a little faster here on my left side. Anyway, we were talking about eyeshadow palettes and drugstore versus more expensive makeup, and what do you gravitate to? Is there anything that you always splurge on or always drugstore on? Okay, here's a big fluffy Morphe 504, and now I'm doing those circles to kind of work it in and blend it out. Oh, yeah, that worked out quite nicely. And I'm really intrigued by this color, right? As long as we're doing it, let's do it. So I'm going to take that same brush that I used. I'm going to pick up a little bit of this kind of cranberry color, and I'm just now going to go from the center over the edge of what I put down before, and just down here on the movable part of the lid. Pick up a little bit more. Oh, that's a pretty color. Trying to work it down in the lash line a little bit. There. Yep, that's just a pretty pop of color for a gorgeous summer day. All right, working this side. Okay, nice. All right, we need something on the inner lid. Oh, I'm debating between this that has some shimmer and the light peach. I'm going shimmer and pinky. So I just picked up some of my pinky there, and I'm just hitting that inner corner. Yep, just a nice little bit of brightness and shimmer. Oh, crossbody. Oh, that's too hard. Let's switch pinkies. Cross. There we go. So, are you mourning the end of summer? Are you ready for fall? Do you love all things pumpkin spice? Has pumpkin spice gotten out of control? Okay, I do feel like I want something up top. So let's go. This is a little brush. It's a Morphe. And I'm going to pick up that peach color and go under my eyebrow, kind of treat it as a highlight, but work it a little bit wider than I would just a highlight. Okay, get the other side. All right, got that. Back to the big fluffy 504 to blend everything. There. That worked out nicely. Now I realized two things. One, there really isn't a shade that I would typically grab for working into my lash line in this palette. And two, there's not much underneath. So I am going to take that darker one, and this is a Sonia Cusack brush, just a small angle brush. Pick that up on the end of the brush and work it in the lash line. This brush is a little thicker than I usually like to use for this job, but it is one that I got at Target, and the Smashbox that I usually use is not one that I got at Target, so this one's doing the job today. And doing a pretty good job of it, if I do say so myself. Ooh, there's a lot of kick up happening here. All right, and underneath the eyes, you know, I'm gonna try what I did the crease in, because I feel like I've got a lot of color going on, and that's okay. Just maybe I want to keep it mellow on my lower lash line. And that is, yeah, that's just a nice little bit of color down there. All right. I am feeling like my cheeks are still really screaming. I think that's because I'm under my lights, but I am going to go back into the NYX with the big brush and just do a light coat over that. Okay, now comes my least favorite part. I really hate doing mascara on camera, but for you, I will. I have the L'Oreal Unlimited Mascara. This is the one with the brush that bends. I really like that feature. In fact, this is actually a really good mascara. All right, here goes. I'm gonna give it a go. I don't have a lash primer, which is unfortunate because I could have used one today. Oh well. Okay, let's get the lower lashes right. None of us look good doing lower lashes, right? Okay, that's one coat. Let's do the other side. All right, mascara is done. And I'm gonna say that this is a mascara that probably would benefit from a primer. It does a nice job on lengthening, but I feel like it clumped my lashes together. Okay, let's finish with the lippy and be done with our look. So today I have the Ulta lip pencil, and this is in shade Raspberry. All right, so let's line the lips. And I also discovered when I was pulling colors for this that one, most of my lip liners are drugstore lip liners, so that part of the job was easy. But most of my lippies are not. So I went back to one of my faves. This is the Maybelline Made for All line. This is Fuchsia for You. I will link that video down below. I tested all 7 colors and really I was quite impressed with it. This is a bold shade for me, so let's get that on. There. Okay. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, would you please do that? Just hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. I post every Monday and Thursday, and would love to have your company every Monday and Thursday or whenever you get around to watching. Not too bad. Hey, for nothing over 10 bucks, that's a great look, I think. Let me know what you think. Thanks so much for joining me today, and have a really fantastic day.